Hello, hello, can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, can you guys hear me? All right, let's see if price wants to go higher today. Hello, hello, can you guys hear me? All right, let's see if price wants to go higher today. I'm gonna do a quick top-down analysis at what I'm looking at for NASDAQ futures, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm looking at right now. So monthly time frame, just like how we talked about. Whoa, I just hurt myself. So on the monthly time frame, we have the opening of this candle. So we are above the monthly open. So what does this tell us about the current monthly right now? If we have 10 days left until the monthly close, then this monthly candle, we're likely in the expansion phase of this monthly candle. So I don't want to be bearish when the monthly candle is telling you that, yeah, we're clearly bullish here, right? So I don't want to be bearish when the monthly candle is clearly in its expansion phase. So my bias is bullish for today and probably for the entire week. So go into the weekly time frame. You can see how we're coming back above this weekly fair value gap right here. So if I mark this weekly fair value gap, you can see how at first we were trading through it, disrespecting with body closures below. But once we swept this low here, so once last week swept this low, and then we came back above and closed above again with bodies of candles, this tells you that the next weekly print is likely going to reverse. So if the next weekly print is likely to reverse, where is going to be our target? So our target is going to be this high above here. And you can see how we're respecting this weekly inversion as well. So price opened, came down, retesting this weekly inversion. And if we draw out the consequent, if we draw out the consequent erosion of this weekly inversion, you can see how we're respecting that weekly inversion with the consequent erosion. You don't see any body candles below this midpoint of this fair value gap. So after the weekly time frame, we're going to go to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, we had this overnight move, this deep retracement overnight move to the downside. So I'm going to tell you why we had that right now. So we have our opening of this current daily open, right? This daily candle, we had the opening, right? As we opened, if we draw out our premium discount of last week's range, like this, you can see that once we opened, we immediately retraced all the way down to discount. So we retraced all the way down to discount. And once we retraced it down to discount, we also tapped into this last down close candle. And you can see the reaction that we get from that discount, and then we come all the way back above the opening, and now we're trading higher. So that's why we had that overnight move down to the downside to go to discount and then continue expanding higher. So if we go to our 4-hour time frame, you can see that we also repriced this 4-hour BISI down here. So price retraced all the way down to discount, and we also rebalanced this 4-hour FEG. What do we have at the lows, or what do we want to see at the lows when we reprice higher time frame PD arrays? We want to see some kind of SMT. So you can see that on ES, we didn't take the 6 a.m. low. But on NQ, no, not the 6 a.m. low. It was I think it was on the hourly time frame. Yeah, it was on the hourly time frame where we had SMTs. But regardless, we tapped into this 4-hour BISI. And what I'm anticipating from this 4-hour fair value gap is for this 4-hour fair value gap to offer fair value to this high above right here. And you can also see how this 4-hour came down, and you have your intermediate rebounds, and then we shoot back up above the opening. So that is why I'm bullish for today and what I'm looking at. So on the hourly time frame, this is where you look for SMT. So you have this 8 a.m. low on NQ where we didn't take it, but on ES, the same exact 8 a.m. low we did take on ES. So right here, you can see that we have clear SMTs at these lows. So clear SMTs, we tapped into this 4-hour internal. So now we're going to be looking for the external that remains above. So we have this hourly BISI right here that we just tapped into, and then we offered fair value to this high above that we just took. So my next target will be this high remaining above here, because this is the external that came from this internal. So this internal we tapped, and then we're looking for this external to be taken now. But for whatever reason we don't want to reprice higher to take out this buy side, then I'm probably going to be hands off for today in the morning. So I'm going to go to the 15-minute time frame now. We're going to see what we're looking at here. Also, while we tapped into this hourly BISI, we also had S&Ts at the lows. So that exact 8:30 a.m. candle we took on ES. So right here we took that candle on ES, but we didn't take it on NQ. So this kind of gave me a higher confluence for us to seek this high above here. But I still have 3 more draws on liquidities. So this high, and then this high, and then there's also a high above here. That's the weekly high from 2 weeks ago. So now we're coming back down into this tiny little at 15-minute for rally gap. Today we don't have any news, so I'm not expecting a lot of volatility to be kicking today. Especially when we had that Asia session deep retracement move, so I'm not really gonna expect too much today. So ES is also repricing into this 15-minute for rally gap. I don't really like when a fair value gap is this small. So when I see a fair value gap that is like this small, I don't really like it. Because usually these small fair value gaps can just get ran through like fast. We do have 9:30 opening in about 10 minutes though. But what I talked about earlier was the game plan I had for today and why I'm looking for higher prices. So I don't want to look for shorts today. Even if we are above the midnight opening, which is the midnight opening is somewhere below. Yeah, I didn't apply that. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. Yeah. So the midnight opening is literally down here and 8:30 is above it. So we're in deep premium if we were bearish, but I don't really want to look for shorts today. So I'm just going to wait and see how we react from this 15-minute BISI and see if we get a candle closure below or above. But my current draw still is this high above. So we tapped into the 15-minute BISI and we have about 7 more minutes into the closure of this current 15-minute candle. So if I take my dealing range from the swing point high to the swing point low, we have this low down here. So if price does want to take that low, then that swing point low will be more favorable because it's the swing point low at discount. And I'm drawing this premium discount from this range high to this range low because this is where the first S&T occurred. So when I draw my premium discounts, I basically grab the premium discounts from the swing point highs and lows that have S&T behind it. But I want to see this 15-minute closure first. Because if we do come above and close above, then that's going to be a good sign. And then we can look for a 1 minute inversion to then look for longs. But we do have 9:30 in about 7 minutes, so 6 minutes now. So both of these 15-minute candles are trading really deep. Probably looking for this discount low right here. So if we do sweep this discount low, I'll probably look for a move back up and just target the highs. But for whatever reason, we keep just having these 15-minute closures below, then I'm probably not going to engage with price action today. So we had this retracement down, and now we're looking like we're trading above this 15. This low here wasn't taken, but we did take it on NASDAQ. I'm gonna mark the 9 a.m. opening. So the 9 a.m. opening is right here. So if the 9 a.m. opening, the hourly candle, is an open, low, high close, and we close above the swing point high, then we're pretty much in the wick of this hourly candle. So we have this Ferrari gap here. But I don't really want to long right now. I just want to wait for 9:30 and see what it does first. I have to be patient with today's PA. So here's 9:28. So we tapped into this 5 minute, small little 5 minute for value gap. And now we're having this 1 minute inversion. So if we do take this low out here, then I'm probably going to look for something like this and just target the highs back above again. All right, so we have swept London's high. Yeah, that was London's high. All right, so 15-minute candle closure, 9:30. Here we go. Let's see what it does. So we close below this 15-minute BISI. We retrace up and tag this 15-minute BISI again. So we take this high on ES. So ES basically just ran this high up here, but NQ hasn't yet. So we have S&Ts here at the highs. So this is the low that I wanted price to run. So let's see if we run it. I don't really want price to just leave equal lows here. So I'm gonna make sure if we actually ran this low. Wow, no, a tick. So we haven't run that low yet, basically. Yeah, we're just like retesting this 15-minute inversion now. I can't really call this a BISI since we closed below it. Yeah, so we tested this 15-minute inversion with 930. Now we're taking this low out at discount of this range. So here is where I'm going to see if we get some kind of change to delivery back up to the upside. We do have 27 minutes into the hourly close, and then we have 10 a.m. open after that. So we have time. Give me 1 minute. All right. So we ran this low here, and then now we're just coming back up again. So 930 was able to give us SMTs at these lows. So at first we had SMTs at the highs, which then drove price lower, taking out this low at discount. But now we have SMTs at these lows. So these are the current new SMTs. So I erased the previous one and have this one marked out now. So here's where I want to see a closure at least above this candle here. And at least above the 9M open. Yeah, I don't like this closure here. So I'm still going to be looking at how we trade around this area. Let's see if 10 a.m. makes price cleaner. Or else it's going to be a very choppy New York session. But I still have this buy side liquidity marked out. So I want to see if we can at least take this high for today. So if we do coming back above 9 a.m. open and close, then that's very good. If not, then we're probably just gonna continue going lower. This is where patience comes into play for me. Because if I don't see what I want to see, then I'm not gonna engage in the market. So we ran this low here, but we haven't ran the low on ES yet. So obvious SMT at these lows here. This 15 inversion though, it had a lot of weight on this 15-minute inversion. Yeah, we have major S&T divergence at these lows. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for 10 o'clock. For me right now, it's best for me to wait for 10 o'clock. Hourly 9 a.m. candle is trading aggressively to the downside. So what is the current reason why? What is it trying to rebalance? What is it trying to kind of like liquidity is it going for? That's the type of question you have to ask yourself. So now we're above or below the daily open. A 128-point 15-minute candle. So now we traded back below the midnight opening price. So we're back below the daily open now. So what I'm looking at right now is the midnight open. So if you get a 15-minute candle closure below the midnight open, then I'm going to be hands off for today. I'm gonna mark out the 6 a.m. open here. We took these stops right here, and then we have SMTs at the lows, while also trading below the midnight opening price. So I'm gonna see how we react here. Because preferably, like, yes, we had this move down. So if we do keep going down, it's likely because we're gonna seek this low down here. But if for whatever reason we trade back above in inverse, then these highs will be good to target as well. So I'm just looking how we close. Because ES is still up here, so it hasn't taken these lows out yet. But I don't wanna long here though. I'm gonna draw out the premium discount of this swing point high to the swing point low. So premium discount, now that we have a premium discount, we have tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap. So here's where I'm going to pay attention to see if we get a closure up at least above the mean, the consequent erosion of this fair value gap. I'm gonna make this invisible here. So I'm going to be paying attention to this fair value gap, this 5-minute fair value gap. I don't want to see this 5-minute fair value gap be offered a 1-minute inversion and then target the lows, because that's not really what I'm looking for. We have about a minute and 30 seconds. So I'm paying attention to this 5-minute fair value gap right here. Seeing if we get a candle closure at least above. Now we're at premium of this dealing range. So here's where I'll see if how price moves. So we're tapping into this 1 minute fair value gap here. And we also close below it, bodies of candles below the mean or the consequent erosion of this fair value gap. If we do make one more fair value gap above here, then I'll look for longs, pretty much. We are in the 950 to 1010 macro now, though. I'm gonna draw my deviations and project where the next fair value gap is likely to form. So next fair value gap is likely to form around this area here. So if we do form a fair value gap here, I'll probably get in longs and then target these highs above. But if we do see a 1 minute inversion with the body candle closure below, we're just probably just gonna look for this low down here. So that's why I'm carefully being selective right now. So I'm gonna wait to see if this macro has a manipulation move first and then see where it goes from there. $68 drop. All right, so right now I'm paying attention to this 15-minute candle. So we swept this 15-minute candle's low, and I'm paying attention to the closing of this candle because we're gonna have a 15-minute for value gap up here. So we're seeing how it react from the midnight opening price as well. The thing I don't like is ES, how we have major divergence at the lows, which is why I'm not giving up the idea of being bullish, because we have these S&Ts at these lows. So if I'm being honest, this move all the way down was just to rebalance and retrace. So we retested this 5-minute change to delivery. So we're gonna see how it reacts here. So we have 10 a.m. open now. Ten a.m. open. Okay, so the 4-hour candle, if you look at the 4-hour candle, the thing I don't like is how we took this high and then we closed right below. So this is usually signs of reversals for the next 4-hour open to take this low. but my draw is still higher. I just don't like how we're closing with these 4-hour candles. We have this 15-minute FEG above though. The only possible reason for us to go lower is to take out this low down here. So that overnight low that we made, the price does trade around like this area, like over here. Then this low would be good to target as well. But I'm not going to be bearish just yet. This is the hourly time frame, and we had this fair value gap offered fair value to this high, but then we closed right below it, and then had this change the delivery. But we also have major divergence at these lows. So we're coming back above the 10 a.m. open now. I'm gonna see how our manipulation level looks. Barely tapped the manipulation level though. The thing is, I could find some longs to target at least equilibrium. I don't really want to long it right now. I want to be very picky for today. And if picky means no trade for me, then it is what it is. Because it is Tuesday and the week just begun. I'm gonna mark out this low from yesterday overnight. Just in case PM session takes it. Because right now, this really does look like it wants this overnight. So this 15-minute SIBI right now is a breakaway. So we're not anticipating retracement reversal at this area, then I'm going to extend the deviations out. Where's 6 a.m. open? 6 a.m. open is right around here. So this is 6 a.m. open deviations. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, if we keep trading below, I'm likely just gonna look for shorts, because this is the obvious liquidity that I'm looking at right now for bearish. So if price really wants to take these lows, create SMT, and then push back up, and that's the ideal scenario I have in mind. I'm gonna draw my deviations from the 10 a.m. open high to the low. And if we get a fair value gap around the silver bullet zone, I'll look for shorts and then target these lows down here. Because when price is bearish and it wants liquidity, the sharp moves to the downside are way faster than the moves to the upside, because they're very aggressive. So if we create a fair value gap around -1, -1.5, I'll look for shorts at this area and then just target 370. I'm going to be patient here though. Because ES didn't take London lows, but we have taken all this liquidity below here. So I don't like the SMT divergence at the lows. Missed the sell after 9:30 after M15 basically was violated. Yeah, that 15-minute fair value gap was a very small fair value gap. Usually if I'm entering like off 15 minutes, or like to see price at least have a strong displacement, because those little fair value gaps tend to be violated the most. So I'm gonna draw the premium discount from this range high, this range low. See if we get a retracement at least up above here. Retest this red level, and we're gonna see how we close from there. I'm being very selective right now. I'm being very picky, because my bias initially was bullish for these highs, but then we had this strong retracement down. We're retesting this 5-minute changes to the delivery level here. We're still below the 10 a.m. opening. So I have two scenarios, right? We inverse these fair value gaps down here, and then look for shorts down to overnight lows. That's scenario one. Scenario two is we have this accumulation, we manipulate down, and then we distribute back up. So I have a bearish and bullish scenario right now. And right now it looks like let's see how we close, because I also like this inversion here as well. So I'm trying to be really picky right now, especially with these divergences at the lows.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
I'm gonna see how we react to this 1 minute fair value gap down here, because I don't want to do a limit, because if I do a limit to go long, the probability of this candle just running through these fair value gaps is very high. So I want to see a 1 minute closure just to be sure, because this looks good for longs as well for these highs above. So we're coming back above the 10 a.m. open. So this could be your accumulation, manipulation, and now distribution. So let's see. I just want to see a fair value gap though. I want to see like a return to a fair value gap. I don't really want a long at these lows, but we are in the wick. Then let's see. That's your intermediate rebalance right here. So we have two FEGs. The first one is right here. Second one is this one, and then third one here. So I want to see a rebalance of either of these three, and then body candle closures above. Like I said again, I want to be very picky with these trades. Because if I wanted to enter longs, I could enter right now. But since my stop loss is like 20 points and price rebalances these FEGs, I could get stopped out. So ideally, I want to enter at the wake of the 4 hour, but my stop loss is very tight, so I don't really want to get stopped out if the price returns to these fair value gaps here. I just got to be patient right now. Because there's a lot of opportunities still. So I got to be really patient. This is the 1 minute inversion here. And the fair value gap is right here. But we're not really coming back down to rebalance it. Because if I enter longs at the wick, my stop's gonna be very tight. So I don't really wanna spend 20 points on here. So I'm just gonna wait. So we know price traded into premium or having body closures around premium, so that's not. So if we're bearish, we don't really want to see this candle closures like that. But if we're bullish, then we want to see exactly what we're seeing. All right. If we get this candle closure above this last down close candle, then I'll look for longs at the wick. Because then I can anticipate all these fair value gaps down here to be breakaway gaps. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're not getting that closure. All right, I'll wait 1 more minute. All right. 30 more seconds. 20 more seconds. 10 more seconds.
Order filled.
All right, if I get stopped out in this trade, then I'll get stopped out. But looking to see how we react from this area. $21,676. 21. 21,6. All right, let's see how we react from this area. You have this 15-minute fair value gap above here that we haven't rebalanced. So I marked it as a breakaway gap, but gonna see how this area is. So we're retesting the 10 a.m. open here. And we have this volume imbalance. Right now, I just want to be really patient. And I want to be accepting too. I want to accept any outcome that could happen. I don't want to marry any scenario. So we're coming back below the 10 a.m. open here. If for whatever reason price does take me out this position, then I'm probably gonna be hands off for today. Don't like how these body candles are closing below though. So if I get out the position, then it's either I'm going to be hands off for today, or we're probably going to look for a trade to target the lows from overnight. The only reason why I'm long right now is because we're below 10 a.m. open. We have clear liquidity above, and we have this 15-minute FEG above as well. So these highs above, this fair value gap above, and that's 10 a.m. open. We had that accumulation manipulation. Now we're looking for distribution of this 4-hour. And we violated this premium side of this range. So that's why I went long. We also had those 4-hour SMT divergences at the lows with ES. So I had a lot of confluences to go long on this trade. But I just don't like how we're closing with body candles around this area. So if price does take my stop loss, then I'm going to accept that and move on. I just don't like how we're chopping in this range here, especially when we're literally around 10 a.m. open. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna get stopped out here. So when I get stopped out, I'm probably gonna just view and be hands off. And if we do push lower, then I'll probably just target the liquidity resting overnight. Because if like
Stop filled.
because this trade right here, this long trade I took just now on my personal account is a type of trades that I would take like 1,000 times. Just because we had clear highs, we violated this 1 minute SIBI, 15-minute fair value gap above, and we were above the 10 a.m. open. So this is my kind of A plus setup, but it just didn't work on this trade specifically on my personal account. So I'm okay with this loss because it's a very tight slot, very small tight loss. So I'm not bugged by this trade at all. So now I'm just gonna look at the market and step back, reevaluate, and tell myself if I'm seeing what I'm actually seeing. So I took this long here off this change to delivery, targeting this FEG up here, and then probably runners for this buy side above. But if we do push lower below the swing point low, then I could look for shorts for overnight lows. The only clean thing I saw today was the trade I took earlier, just now. But I'm gonna see how we move around this area. I wouldn't even be surprised if we started consolidating and expanding and seeing higher prices. But I'm still open to any scenario right now. It is Tuesday and we don't have news, so I'm not expecting crazy volatility for today. So we traded back above the 10 a.m. open. Gonna see if there's any SMTs at these highs. So we had SMTs right here. So now we're coming back to the 10 a.m. open. Now we're closing back above the 10 a.m. Preferably, I would have wanted to see expansion as soon as we closed above around this area and then target these highs, but I guess we wanted to retrace first. So 2 more minutes into the 15-minute candle close. So if we're bullish, I want to see the 15-minute candle closure above the 10 a.m. open. I don't want to see it below. Because if we get that closure above, it just gives me a higher probability of confluence. So this is where I pay attention to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, I like longs here. I just don't really like how we retraced as soon as we closed above. Okay. I'm gonna try longs one more time, but I'm gonna wait for a 1 minute fair value gap. Or this change to delivery is pretty good too. Whoa, I zoomed out way too quick. Okay. So I'm gonna put a limit right here.
Order submitted.
We're gonna do
Order submitted.
put a limit right here. We're gonna do 5 on here. So we're basically getting in at the change state delivery of this last down close candle. So this is my second long attempt, and if it doesn't pan out, then that's fine. I do like how we're creating this fair value gap here though. If we create a fair value gap, that's going to be even better because it aligns with this breaker. So this is pretty much your unicorn setup.
Order filled.
All right, this is my last chance of going long, and if it doesn't pan out, then yeah, I'm calling it a day.
Stop filled.
All right, there. I got stopped out. So those are 2 attempts of going long. Now my rules are if I take 2 trades in a row and they're both losses, I call it done for the day. So 2 small losses. So now I'm done for the day. So if tomorrow I have a winning trade, I will cover back those 2 losses and more. So now this is where I have to follow my rules and be disciplined enough to stay off the market. Because I know that if I tempted what I originally planned in the morning and it doesn't work out, then this is where I just stay off the market, because if I stay here, then it's not very good. It's not going to do me any good. So now we're just going to tape read for like 15 minutes and see what price does next. So we're back below the 10 a.m. open. And we had a body candle closure right here. So this is very choppy right here. Yeah, I don't like this PA. It's choppy. It's going back and forth. Because now we're back above the 10 a.m. open. So yeah, this is very choppy back and forth PA. Give me 1 second. All right, so we have the 10:50, 11:10 macro. So this is going to be the final macro, and then I'm going to call it a day for today. Only two scenarios right now. It's either we're gonna chop until PM session, or we're just gonna reverse and look for these overnight lows. So those are the only two things I have in mind right now. Because if I was bearish, then these overnight lows look really good to target. From that move down from Asia overnight, that's the only thing I see right now if I'm bearish. But it's either we're gonna chop or we're just gonna reverse right now. We tapped equilibrium discount, and now we're seeing a reaction away from this area. I like the longs I took earlier though, because we had this accumulation around 10 a.m. open, then we manipulated down, SMTs at the lows, converted these bearish PD arrays, and then we had that change state delivery. So once we got that body closure, price should have just straight up just expanded for the 4-hour expansion and at least rebalance this 15-minute FEG or take this liquidity out right here at these swing point highs. But we did get stopped out, and then we tried longs again, and the same thing. So it's very choppy, this range right here. This is why I like the fact that I was low risk. So I'm gonna pull out my executions for today, and I'm gonna pull out my P&L as well. So these were the executions for today. I went long twice, and I'm gonna pull out the P&L from the account as well. So it's a very small loss on my personal account. I only lost about 421 bucks. It's a very small loss. It's nothing like it's gonna be, oh, I'm gonna blow my account. No, it's a very small loss. Only 20 points on each trade. And I like the trades I took. I like the longs. I like the reasoning behind it, the logic. And there were trades that aligned with my game plan. This is just the cost of doing business. Sometimes you go long, and sometimes the probabilities don't go in your favor. For example, this chop fest right here. Thinking that like you can't really like, sometimes you just don't win every day, you know? Like you're not gonna win every single day, and today's one of those days. But I like the way, as long as you like the trades that you took, and as long as they go against your, like they go with your game plan, that's all that matters. That you follow your rules, that you stay disciplined, and that you follow your game plan. Because to me, that's still a green day. Doesn't matter if you lost a lot of money on your account, as long as you follow your rules and you stayed patient enough to take the trades that align with your game plan, that's a green day. So I'm not mad about today. I'm just really happy I stayed patient, and I'm really happy that I followed my game plan. And if it didn't play out, great. I just move on to the next day. And that's the type of mindset that you should have as a trader. And trust me, that will bring you forward a lot. You start thinking like that. Coming back above 10 a.m. open again. So I'm gonna set an alert for this FEG up here. 15-minute SIBI rebalanced. And I'm also going to set an alert at these lows down here. So that way I can see when this happens. Bears run. Okay, so we consolidated, we traced back down to discount, trading above the 10 a.m. open. So this looks like your little accumulation with your manipulation right here. And now we're getting that distribution back up. So this is what I'm currently seeing. And if this change to delivery holds, then it should send price higher. But if it doesn't, then it's just going to consolidate or reverse. But this is the only thing I see right now. Because this 4-hour candle is a bit tricky. Like the accumulation manipulation was very clear, but it's the distribution part where it was very tricky because we had all this consolidation here. We're still within this macro though. So we have London volatility closed right now. So we have London here. So I'll mark out 11 a.m. And we're returning back into the range. All right. So I don't want to really read any more price. I'm probably just going to go off and go get some food. But I hope you guys learned something from today's live stream. It was a very tricky it was a very tricky maneuvering through the PA, but it was a very good day now. Regardless. All right. So I'm gonna head out now and see you guys later. Stay safe.